So match day 6 is here for the MLS. We had some very surprising matches there in match day 5. We had two teams score 4 goals, which I was not expecting Orlando to score 4. And really, to be honest, I wasn't expecting Charlotte to also score 4 goals. I think it was a great match day. Hate that there was an international break because we don't get to see everybody. Not every squad is at their strongest, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to talk about match day 6 here, but before we do, we've got to take a look at the Nerdy Soccer table. We only had a handful of people get points this week. A lot of people missed every single one because that's how unpredictable this league is and how unpredictable, what the score outcomes are going to be and who wins on the road and who wins away. But our top 5 right now, Nick Fortune with 7 points. We have a 4-way draw for first, by the way. So Nick Fortune, Jerry G, M. Donovan, and Roast all tied for first place with 7 points. And then rounding out that 5th spot with 6 points is Wayne's World. And we actually have 2 people there in 5th. And the other person is Samuel22 with 6 points. So you have time. If you are good at predicting, you can climb the rankings and get there. Only 7 points is the top through match day 5. The link is in the description. The QR code is on the screen for you to make your predictions for those 3 matches that are out there. Climb the Nerdy Soccer table and win a jersey at the end of the season if you are in that number 1 spot. But enough about that. Let's jump into match day 6 and talk about these matches that we have this weekend. And to start us off, we have Colorado Rapids versus Charlotte FC. Currently, Colorado at home, a draw and a loss. And currently, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their first 5 matches in MLS. Charlotte on the road, also a draw and a loss there so far this season with 3 wins, a loss, and a draw in their first 5 matches here in MLS. Charlotte are looking good currently with a 2-match winning streak. The expected goals in this one is 2-0 in favor of Charlotte with a 69% win probability in their favor on the road. I'm excited to see if Charlotte continue to play the way that they do. I thought Ajman played very well over the weekend in international duty. So with him coming back and with the way that Charlotte played over the weekend, I think that Charlotte have a chance to win this and on the road, and I think that they will. I think that the one player to watch is Ajman. Will he come in from international duty and continue to score? And that's who I'm most excited to see in this matchup. Also, I want to keep an eye on Zach Steffen for Colorado because there are talks there for the U.S. men's national team. Should he have started? Yes, he was sick. Should he have gotten started over Turner? I would be on that end that he does deserve to start over Turner at this point because he is actually playing and he's actually doing pretty well, in my opinion, for the Rapids. But in this one, I think Charlotte go on the road here and get the job done. Even though they are at altitude, I think they win this match 2-1 over the Rapids. So next up, the next match that we're going to talk about is a Canadian showdown. That is Toronto FC versus Vancouver Whitecaps. Currently, Toronto FC, a draw and 4 losses in their last 5 matches. Currently on a 4-match losing streak. Vancouver, on the other hand, 4 wins and a loss, getting their first loss this past weekend. Toronto at home, only 1 game, and that has been a loss, where Vancouver are 2 wins, no draws, no losses there on the road. I don't think that there's much to say about this one. Vancouver are averaging 2.5 points, 2.5 goals on the road against teams where Toronto, yes, they've only had 1 game at home, but overall they are only averaging 1.2 goals and allowing almost 3. I think that Vancouver have no problem with this unless they continue to have this bad run. Like they did not show up very well last weekend, and it showed that they did not. So if they show up, I think that they get the job done here against Toronto. Toronto just have way too many inconsistencies. No one's meshing, and I know that they had a good many people out also for international duty, so maybe this game will be a closer game with it being, a rivalry. But I think that Vancouver go on the road here, and I'm going to go back to back here, and I think that the road team wins. I think Vancouver wins 3-1 over Toronto FC. So next up, we have New England Revs versus New York Red Bulls. Currently, New England Revs are a draw and 3 losses in their first 4 matches of MLS. The Red Bulls, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their first 5 matches. Red Bulls definitely the better side in this one, right out of the gate. New England have only scored 1 goal this season so far, and it wasn't even their own. It was an own goal by the team. I can't remember who it was. So they haven't even scored a goal. I'm very much let down that Capana has not produced for them. I really thought I liked what he did when he was at Miami. I'm very surprised he has not gotten on the score sheet yet. And maybe I'm wrong. I thought that there was potential there. Maybe it was just the players around him there in Miami. Not 100% sure, so I'm very much let down on that. The Red Bulls, on the other hand, they have not scored on the road either. 1 draw, 1 loss on the road. The Revs, 2 losses there at home. But the Red Bulls are averaging 1.2 goals a game. And I think that with Forsberg, I think Forsberg should have another good game. The win probability is in favor of the Red Bulls, and it's expected to be a 1-0 game. That's what the expected goals are for this match. But I think that we might see more than that. I'm going to go with this, and I think that the Red Bulls, yes, a 3rd match for the away team in a row. I think that the Red Bulls go on the road here and win this match 2-1 over the Revs. So that takes us into Inter Miami versus Philadelphia Union. Currently, Inter Miami, 3 wins and a draw in their first 4 matches in MLS, where the Union are 4 wins and a loss in their first 5 matches of the MLS season. Inter Miami, a win and a draw there at home. Philadelphia Union, 2 wins on the road. I think this is going to be a better matchup than what we think. Yes, Philadelphia came off 2 weeks ago and had a terrible showing against Nashville, but Nashville are in very good form right now. But then they come back and win last weekend, and Inter Miami on a bye. That is going to be the key here, I think. Messi had the weekend to recover. He is back in training. I think that that's who we have to watch here. I think that Messi's going to have a good game. I think that we might even see multiple goals from him in this one. If not multiple goals, he's going to have a goal and an assist in this match. That's what I'm predicting for this one. Miami have 3 goals there at home, 2 against, where Philadelphia have scored 6 and 2 against there on the road. The win probability in this one is in favor of Inter Miami at 44%, but a close 35% chance for the Union to win that based on the probabilities. Expected goals 2-1 in favor of Miami. I do have to say Inter Miami win this match, but I don't think that we see 3 goals. I think we actually see 5. I think that Inter Miami get the job done there at home and win this match 3-2 over the Philadelphia Union. Now that leads us into DC United versus Columbus Crew. DC United very, very much let me down last week, losing that bad to Orlando City. I predicted DC to win that match, and I'm embarrassed for picking that because of how bad they got beat. I thought that DC was better than that. They started off the season with, currently in their last 5 matches, in their first 5 matches, it's a win, 3 draws, and a loss. So they're getting results, they're getting points, but losing that badly against Orlando City, who are a very inconsistent side, was not expecting that. Columbus Crew, 2 wins and 4 draws in their first 5 matches, whichever you want to say. With that, though, 3 draws in a row. What are you doing, Columbus? I know that you're missing a true goal scorer, but you still have 6 goals on the season. 2 on the road there. 1, you only allowed 1. Where DC United at home, 4 goals for 3 goals against. The expected goals in this one is in favor of Columbus winning this match 1-0 is what the expected goals is supposed to be. The win probability 61% in favor of the away side. Diego Rossi currently leading the squad in goals with 2 for Columbus, so they're not scoring a lot so far, but they're also not allowing a lot. I think this might be a pretty low-scoring one, maybe 1 goal, maybe 2 goals, but I think that's what I'm going to go with. I actually think that Columbus Crew go on the road and win this match 2-0 over DC United, keeping that clean sheet. If you can shut down Benteke for DC United, you win the match. That's all you have to do. You shut down Benteke, you win the match. And I think that Columbus has the back line to do that, and I think they do that here with that 2-0 victory. Now, next up, we have Atlanta United versus NYCFC. Currently, Atlanta United, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their first 5 matches in the MLS season. Very, very disappointing in my opinion. NYCFC, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their first 5 matches of the MLS season. Atlanta United at home, 1 win, a draw, and a loss. NYCFC, 2 draws, and a loss there on the road. The expected goals in this one is NYCFC 1, Atlanta United 0. When is Atlanta going to turn it around? They go up against Cincinnati at TQL Stadium, go up 1-0, then allow Evander to score 2 goals for Cincinnati. And then, yes, Atlanta get lucky. I will say that right now. Atlanta get lucky, and Cincinnati scores an own goal late in the match to pull out a point. Yes, I'm happy to get a point for Atlanta. They just got to do better. Something's got to click. Latte Lot, though, is showing up for what we paid for him so far. With 4 goals on the season, that is a fantastic stat. But for this one, this is very sad to say, 50% win probability for NYCFC in this match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta, you got to kick it in, and I want you to kick it in. And I'm going to have to say this. I think the NYCFC are a good side with only 1 loss, currently on a 3-match unbeaten streak. I think that streak ends here. I think Atlanta are going to get the job done at home. I'm very weary to say this. Maybe it's a gut thing. Maybe it's because I'm biased. But I think Atlanta win this match at home 3-1 over NYCFC. So that takes us into one of our matches on Sunday, and that is St. Louis City versus Austin FC. Currently, St. Louis City, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Austin, 3 wins and 2 losses. St. Louis's defense is phenomenal. That's all I can say. Their defense is very good. They did not look that great against Philadelphia last week. We watched that match on the watch along there on YouTube and just let them score. Union were kind of like picking them apart, not destroying them, but like getting them out of position. But they did score on a set piece. That was the only goal in that match. I think that St. Louis are a very good side. And then Austin, not looking as good as I expected, but currently on a 2-match winning streak there. And finally, my boy Brandon Vasquez got on the score sheet, and I hope that continues here. St. Louis, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, where Austin, 3 wins and 2 losses there in their first 5 matches of MLS. St. Louis City, 1 win and a draw there at home. Austin, 1 win and a loss on the road. St. Louis has scored a goal. They have not allowed anything there at home, where Austin have scored 1 and allowed 1 there on the road. The expected goals in this one is 0-0, so really expected no goals. And it is a 65% probability that it ends in a draw. And don't put it past me. I think that it could end up a 0-0 draw. Neither one of these teams are scoring goals, but Austin are allowing goals. Austin on the season, 4 goals for, 3 goals against altogether, where St. Louis City, 4 goals for, and 1 goal against. So St. Louis's defense doing great. Austin's defense not so great. Just winning by very narrow margins. But in this one, I think that St. Louis City is going to get the job done and get a dub. I think that they will get the 3 points there at home because of their defense. It's not going to be because of their offense, because that is the biggest key for St. Louis. If they can somehow get the offense rolling, I think St. Louis City could be one of the best teams in the West. but they've got to get some goals in the back of the net. Don't think they really start here, but they do win this. They're not going to score a bunch of goals, but I think they win 1-0 over Austin FC there at Energizer Park. Now, staying there on Sunday for the second match, we have Portland Timbers versus Houston Dynamo, and I believe this game is leading, between this game and the St. Louis game, is leading there on the community tab. So go make sure that you vote, and we'll see what we watch there for the watch along this weekend. Portland Timbers currently 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their first 5 matches, where Houston 2 draws and 3 losses in their first 5 matches. They are looking for a win. Do I think it happens here? I don't think so. Portland Timbers at home, 1 win, a draw, and a loss, where Houston have drawn both of their away matches so far this season, but neither one of those had any goals. They have not scored on the road. They have not allowed a goal on the road. Where Portland, though, not looking good at home with 3 goals for, 5 goals against, with a -2 goal differential. The expected goals in this one is Portland 1-0 over Houston Dynamo with a 57% win probability in favor of Portland, with a 27% chance that this match ends in a draw. I don't have much to say about this match. I think that I would love to see Houston get their first win of the season. I just don't think it's going to happen. I always talk up Providence Park, and maybe I'm jinxing Portland because I think Providence Park is a tough place to play at, but it hasn't been in recent years. I would love to see Portland get back to that, where they win most of their games there at Providence Park. I think that they get the job done here. I don't believe I have very many draws this weekend, and watch, every game will be a draw this weekend. But I have to say, Portland Timbers get it done in a very, very low scoring match, and I'm going to predict the same thing as the expected goals here. I think Portland win this match 1-0 over the Houston Dynamo. Now, heading back there to Saturday, we have FC Dallas versus Sporting Kansas City. Currently, Dallas 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their first 5 matches. Sporting Kansas City, terrible, looking terrible. 1 draw and 4 losses in their first 5 matches. But FC Dallas at home have lost both games that they've played. Sporting Kansas City on the road have lost both of the games that they've played. So this is a toss-up between these two teams. The expected goals for this one is, though, in favor of FC Dallas, 2-1 over Sporting Kansas City, with a 58% win probability in favor of FC Dallas. What I would like to see here, though, I want to see, yes, Acosta is their top scorer, but he is usually the top scorer and assister in whatever team he's playing for. He has Peter Musa. Right now, Musa is the combination leader there with goals and assists with 4. I would like to see Acosta do more. I think that he can do more, and I expect him to do more. He is a previous MVP there in the MLS. He has a great striker in Musa, and I would just like to see more from him. Now, on the other side, for Sporting Kansas City, Joveljic needs to do something more too. He's only got 2 goals, but is it because he doesn't have those other players around him to make him better? Because if you think about his time at the Galaxy, you have players like Peck and Ricky Puig, Painsil. You have those guys. He doesn't have that at Sporting. He doesn't have that, so he can't do it by himself. But I would like to see him step up, put more in the back of the net for them. Do I think that he does it here? I would like to say he gets on the score sheet in this match, and maybe I'll go with that. I think that Joveljic does score, but I don't think Sporting Kansas City win this match. I think that FC Dallas finally win their first game at home, and they win this match 2-1 over Sporting Kansas City. Next up, I hope this match is a good one. That is San Jose Earthquakes versus Seattle Sounders. Earthquakes were a disappointment last week against Charlotte. They got destroyed on the road. Currently 2 wins and 3 losses, currently on a 3-match losing streak. Seattle, on the other hand, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses to start off the MLS season. Earthquakes are 1 win and 2 losses there at home. Seattle have lost both matches that they have played away, and they haven't scored yet on the road. That could be a problem here because Earthquakes should be back to full strength with international duty over. They have 5 goals for 3 goals against there at home. The expected goals in this match is a draw 1-1, but then in the win probability, I don't think we've seen this before. 39% win probability for the Earthquakes, 39% for Seattle Sounders with a 23% chance at a draw. I want to see Arango put more, score more, be more involved. He is the leader with, goals and assists and just goals with 3. Top scorer for Seattle is Jordan Morris, and I think that we might see more from him for Seattle. I would like to see both strikers do well in this one, and I have to go with it. I'm going to go with that 23% probability there for a draw, and I think this match ends in a 2-2 draw there in San Jose. Next up, we have Chicago Fire, who are currently on fire with a 3-match winning streak, and then their first 5, 3 wins, a draw and a loss, where Montreal, a draw, 4 losses, and a fired manager already. I don't understand how you fire a manager already, and all you've had is away games. I think that was very unfair, in my opinion, for Montreal to do that to their coach. Chicago, though, have no wins at home with a draw, so they've only played 1 match at home, where Montreal 1 draw and 4 losses there on the road. Currently, this will be their 6th match out of 8 to start the season off on the road. Chicago, though, at home, 2 goals for, 2 goals against. Montreal, unfortunately, only have 2 goals there on the road and allowing 9. The expected goals for this one is Chicago to score 3, Montreal to score none, with the win probability heavily in favor of Chicago Fire at 88%. I expect Gutierrez to have a good game in this one for Chicago if he's back. I believe he's back. And I think that they're going to continue their win streak here. And they're on a roll. They're playing Berhalter Bowl, which I don't think we expected them to be doing this good so far. Where has Bamba been? Bamba? Yeah, Bamba. Where has Bamba been for Fire? When are we going to see him start showing up? I would expect him to be, a top scorer for Chicago Fire and not Cypress. I think that Chicago get the job done. They get their first win at home this season, and I have to go with the expected goals. I don't see anything from Montreal. I don't think there's no light at the end of the tunnel yet for Montreal, and I think Chicago win this match 3-0 there at Soldier Field. Now we have another California showdown between San Diego versus LAFC. San Diego starting off very good here in 2025 in their inaugural season with 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their first 5 matches. LAFC, 3 wins and 2 losses in their first 5 matches. San Diego have only drawn at home, and both matches. LAFC have played 2 matches on the road, winning 1 and losing 1. San Diego, very low scoring here at home with 1 goal and 1 goal against, where LAFC are scoring 4 goals on the road with 5 goals against. So they do have a negative goal difference there on the road, which is expected here in MLS, in my opinion. Expected goals is San Diego to win this match here at home 1-0 over LAFC, and a 49% win probability in favor of San Diego. Dreyer has to step up a little bit more. Dreyer has been their key player since Chucky has been out for San Diego. But LAFC, Martinez is their top goal scorer. Where's Buonga? That's who I am expecting to do something in this match. I think Buonga will get on the score sheet for LAFC. I would like to see him produce more for them, but I don't think that they win. I don't think that San Diego win this one. I think San Diego get another draw, a 3rd straight draw there at home, and I believe this match ends in a 1-1 draw there at Snapdragon Stadium. Now, that leads us into Nashville SC versus FC Cincinnati. Currently, Nashville 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their first 5 matches there on MLS season. And in the first 2 matches, I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the East, but then they are currently on a 3-match winning streak, which I'm here for. I like Nashville. Nashville is one of my more favored sides. I do like Nashville. Cincinnati, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their first 5 matches, coming off of a draw against Atlanta there at TQL. Nashville at home, 2 wins and a draw. FC Cincinnati, 2 losses on the road so far this season. Expected goals in this one is Nashville to win this match 1-0 over FC Cincinnati with a 70% win probability to Nashville with a 20% chance of a draw. I want to see more from Mukhtar. I feel like we have not heard a lot from him so far this season for Nashville. That is their star. I would like to see something from him in this match, and I expect something from him in this match because he's going up against another good midfielder in Evander, which Evander is probably one of the best players in the league in my opinion. He is their top goal scorer for Cincinnati, and he is the goal and assist leader there also with 4 combined that is. I think that Evander continues to score. I think he scores in this one, but I got to go with it. I think the Nashville win here at home. They have not allowed a goal yet so far at home and have scored 5. I think that they win this match 2-1 over FC Cincinnati there at Geodis Park. Now for our second to last match of match day 6, that is Minnesota United versus Real Salt Lake. Currently Minnesota United 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their first 5 matches, where Real Salt Lake very inconsistent with 2 wins and 3 losses in their first 5 matches. Minnesota at home 1 win and a draw. RSL there on the road 1 win and a loss. The expected goals here, Minnesota 1, Real Salt Lake 0. The win probability is in favor of Minnesota. I like what Yeboah is doing. I am on the Yeboah train. I like this kid, and currently he has 4 goals for Minnesota, and I see him scoring in this one. But on the flip side, Real Salt Lake have Diego Luna, who looked like pretty much the only player in that third place match for the U.S. men's national team that wanted to be there, was actually fighting for something. And he is one of the best players in the league, too. One of the best young talents. I just wrote an article about Diego Luna, so go check that out at hooligansports.com over there. It's a good piece. I'm excited for Diego Luna. I hope that he gets traction here in the MLS. I feel like he's been quiet so far, but he's made a statement there with the U.S. men's national team. I would like to see him either score or get a couple assists in this match. But I have to go with that 22% chance of a draw. I think this match ends in a 2-2 draw there in Minnesota. And for our final match of match day 6, we have LA Galaxy versus Orlando City. Currently, Galaxy 2 draws and 3 losses in their first 5 matches of the MLS season. I don't think any of us expected that to happen for them. Orlando City, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their first 5 matches. Galaxy have not won there at home. Orlando have not won on the road, but they do have a draw and a loss. The Galaxy haven't scored yet at home, which is mind-boggling to me, where Orlando City have scored 3 and have allowed 4 there on the road. The expected goals in this one is 3-1 in favor of Orlando City, with a win probability of 82% chance for Orlando to win this, with a 10% chance of a draw. I'm glad to see that Ramirez for Galaxy is finally getting on the board. He has 2 goals so far this season. Ojeda leading the way for Orlando with his goals plus assists. I was expecting things from him this season, and I think he's delivering so far. They had a great win over this weekend, scoring 4 goals in their match. And I expect them to put goals up in this one. Galaxy are not doing good. I really want to see Garces. We watched Garces play against Herediano, and I thought that he played very well in one of the other matches. He's a very bright spot there in the defensive role. I'd like to see him continue doing well for the Galaxy. But I think Orlando go on the road here. Galaxy still don't get a win at home, and they only get 1 goal in this match. I think Orlando City win this match 3-1 over the Galaxy. So that is it for my predictions here in match day 6. Tell me down below what your predictions are, what matches you agree with, what matches you disagree with. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you like the content. Also, join the Nerdy Soccer table. It's fun. It's fun to see what the picks are. Like I said, very little people scored last week. So it is still very much up for grabs, even 5 match days in. QR code's there on the screen. Thank you for watching, and we will see you for the watch along.